All right, Mark here with the Hawk. You might be able to notice I got new digs. They moved me over in the hangar. So we just did that this morning. Did it without the engine on it, and it was nice and light. And actually Gavin helped me with that, just he and I. So very happy that he was able to help me with that. I got the engine back. Steve Krieger and I finished rebuilding it yesterday. And it's looking great. Looks almost like a brand new engine, especially with a nice paint job on the cooling shroud and nice new paint on the exhaust manifold. So that turned out. I got that sandblasted at actually a memorial shop that does headstones. They have a sandblaster, and a friend of mine recommended them to me, and they did a great job. So works out good. You can see I've got the plastic covers on it, just some Ziploc bags basically tie wrapped on there. Carb side, exhaust side, all blocked off. The spark plugs are in. We just melted a section of tubing and clamped it in the vise to make a nice block off for the vacuum line. So I'm stressing out. This engine needs to be run in the next 4 weeks or so. We didn't, really put any preservative in it. Now, of course, I can spray some seafoam in the spark plugs and such, but really want to get this thing going. And there's a lot to do. I'm going to start making checklists of tasks. So today I'm just, I got the engine on. I did not torque the bolts on the bottom holding the engine onto the aluminum angle mounts yet because I don't have the right Loctite to be able to torque that. So they're just finger tight on there for now. And I'm going to put in this nice clear inline fuel filter, start running my fuel lines through the airplane, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time videotaping because I just need to get some stuff done. So I'll probably hop on here and show you what I did here when we're done running fuel lines. Yeah, a lot to do. It wasn't yesterday. The building experience of the engine was great. As always, Steve Krieger was fantastic. I just really wanted to focus and pay attention on what we were doing. Definitely not something I'll do on my own in terms of rebuilding my Rotax 447 the next time it needs it. There's about $1,500 of special tools that you need to do it. And, going through it once with Steve is not a replacement for the many years of experience and classes that he has. But it sure was nice being able to assist him in the overhaul and being able to tell what's inside the engine, how it works, how it goes together, what things should and shouldn't look like. So definitely a valuable experience. One thing that Steve did that he recommends is, let's see if I can put my stuff down here. Get a picture of this. Let's see if you can see it. He cut the cooling, the fan shroud. There you can see it. He cut the little plastic cover off so I can get my finger in there on a pre-flight and check the tension of the belt. And so that's nice. It's something he recommends on all the air-cooled engines. And so I let him go ahead and do that. And I'm glad because now I can actually access the belt and make sure it's got proper tension. That's something I will have to keep an eye on as I start running and breaking in the engine is just keep an eye on the belt tension, especially in the early going. I'm going to have to retorque heads after 2 hours, and there's a maintenance schedule of other things. And there's quite an involved break-in procedure that you do through a continuous 1 hour run. So I look forward to showing that to you, hopefully someday soon before the snow flies. It's a chilly day today, just barely in the 50s. And yesterday was cold too. And so anyway, yeah, stressing out, want to get this thing done, want to get the engine running, got to get the gear on it, and be working hard to hopefully get that welded up and painted this week so I can put it on wheels next Sunday. Okay, so I'm back home from the airport, and let me tell you, boy, did I leave frustrated. So I got my fuel line here, and I was trying to put it on the barb fitting for the fuel filter, and I was pushing, and I was pushing and pushing, and I licked the barb and everything, spit on it, whatever, and God, nothing. I got a blister forming on my thumb right there. Look at that. That's going to be nasty tomorrow. Now, you experienced ultralighters out there watching this and laughing at me. I know you are. Here's the trick. A blow dryer. You can also use boiling water. Don't use a heat gun or a torch. That's too much heat. But you gotta heat that up. Oh, this is from my spit, by the way. Not a good idea because you don't want water in your fuel. I'm sure I'll clean all that out when I start the engine for the first time. Anyway, so this is on there. I've got one of these metal clamps on. They really have to bottom out in order to hold this 1/4 inch line. This was the stuff that Steve Krieger recommended to me. It works good. I like it that it has the flare on them so it doesn't cut into the tubing. You can just kind of see that. They're made in Sweden, if you can read that upside down. So anyway, I like that better than the safety wire. I didn't want the safety wire to cut into the tubing. So I'll demonstrate for you here. I've got the end of my tubing. I'm just going to do the other end of my fuel filter. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. And heat this tube up really well. Still have to push pretty good. There we go. Still needs quite a push. All right, let me warm it up a little more. There we go, now we're cooking with gas. I hope you can see this. Come on, a little more. Oh, it's hot. Woo, that's hot stuff right there. We're almost there. A little bit more for the clamp. There we go. I think we got enough there for the clamp. And we should be good. So there we are. Always remember to put the clamp down the tube first, which I just forgot to do. But the good thing is that I don't have a fitting on the other end of this tube. I got actually the whole 20-foot coil that I bought there, so I can slide the clamp on and go on there. I heated it up pretty good. It's funny, this one actually went easier when I heated it up than this one just did. And maybe it was just because of the angle I was holding it at, just to try to show it on camera. But that's it, a hair dryer or boiling water, which if you're doing it in your hangar, it's hard to boil water. And I don't think I'd want to necessarily put this filter in boiling water. Obviously you just want to put the end of the tube in. But then if it doesn't go all the way, then you gotta heat it up again. So I like the hair dryer method. Still work, but I got it on. I was struggling probably about a half an hour, no lie. So yeah, you experienced guys out there, laugh it up. I'm putting this video out there for folks to see. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is be sure to cut the end of your tubing nice and square. You don't want to have it cut at an angle. There are tubing cutters out there made for plastic tubing of all sizes. You can find them, you know, that work well for smaller tubing. I just used a good sharp utility knife on a wooden table, or a butcher block or something that I can cut on, and I got a nice square cut. But definitely, if you can see here, if you have a bevel at all, you're not going to be able to get all of the other side of it out the other side of the clamp. And this is what you want, almost like a Nyko press. You want a little bit of the material sticking out from the side of the clamp, or from the end of the clamp. So there you have that. I also want to mention too, I was recommended the pink pulse line for the whole airplane by Steve Krieger. He said it's really good stuff, and so I went with it. I was on the phone with him talking about stuff I needed to buy as we were getting prepared to finish up the engine build, which we did yesterday. This blue stuff is all right though. It works okay. I have not found any of it that was hard or brittle in any way. I have seen a video when I was searching for other ways of putting this stuff on a barbed fitting, where people say, one guy in particular said, don't use this stuff, it's crap, and he shows himself, he's bending it and cracking it and peeling it apart. Well, obviously he used fuel with ethanol, and that's a big no-no in flying, number one, unless your system is set up for it, like some of the guys flying on E85 with pressurized fuel systems and all the compatible materials. But keep in mind, all your auto fuel that you use for flying and ultralights needs to be recreational gasoline that has no ethanol. And usually, at least here in Wisconsin, you can find it in 90 octane with 0 ethanol content. That's really important. Now, some people will say you can go up to 10% ethanol with this tubing. I would still stay away. Ethanol doesn't like being at altitude. The water separates out of it. You just have higher chances of vapor lock and that sort of stuff. So anyway, this tubing's almost 20 years old, or about 20 years old really, maybe a little more, and it is just fine. And that's because the right fuel was used. All right, till next time, thanks for honking it with Mark.